Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm Lovecasting live in the Serious Toy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is Christopher Oteki. I'm your host and life coach, and my modality is psychic astrology. I call myself the Sensei to Serious Joy because I'm here to stand in my heart and help other people into theirs. This webisode is for Friday. Thank God it's Friday, December 4th, 2015, and today the Great Human Walk has progressed to the magical step 12, Sagittarius. Now, this is a magical step because of what I practice and have discovered, step astrology. The step numerology of today is step 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. That's how we do this. And 3 is a magic number, the number of Sagittarius. So this is a home step for Sagittarius. Sagittarius has 3 home steps, okay, if you add it up. The first one is step 3, obviously. The next one is step 12. And then the next one is step 21, when it starts to get fun, right? So we're at step 12. Step 12 is the bridge. Will we open up to a new possibility? It's a bridge because of the architecture of incarnation. Step 12 is I love and I feel, right? So I love, I feel. And that's the issue with people. Whether or not they can get across this bridge is whether or not they can follow their heart and they can deal with their feelings, all right? If they can, they open up to a 3, a new belief. If they can't, okay, they open up to a new belief anyways, but that belief is a self-limiting belief, a belief that turns them down, tells them not to cross the bridge. So a lot of people get stuck at step 12. When I do personal readings for people, so many issues in their chart are at degree 12, and that means that the soul had gotten up to that point and couldn't get any farther. And I life coach them past that bridge. Today we're on that bridge, and and through this weekend we're on the bridge of believing. And like I had mentioned, the last time Pluto was in Capricorn, we didn't know, no one had ever turned their back on the British. No one had ever dared to compare themselves as just as great. So there was no common belief to latch onto. You were going to believe that there should be independence for this nation or not believe there should be independence for this nation. And by the way, I just will point out that if we believed at that time there was independence for this nation, we were anarchists. And we were going against the system. That is the basis of this nation, incidentally. But the point is this is the moment for you. Somewhere in your life, not so dramatic, but maybe later in life it is, you are making a choice this weekend to believe or not believe. And this weekend, right, actually the choice was up until now. This weekend is, are we going to cross the bridge based on this belief? Or are we going to stay here concerned that we're not ready to cross the bridge? All right, and that brings us to today's topic. Today's topic is believing in me. The architecture of having belief in oneself. What is it? Well, step 12 pretty much tells you what you have to do to pull off believing in yourself as far as the sensation of believing in yourself. Like we discussed this week, you don't know until you try and fail or try and succeed. No one knows until they try and fail or try and succeed. No one knows. I don't care. You talk to your mouth is blue, you don't know. Credit to those like Elon Musk who tries and his rocket fails, but he keeps trying and it fails. Okay, then he'll know, right? So in essence, we don't know. But we still have to get ourselves across that emotional bridge, all right, not knowing. How does one coach oneself, Sensei, to get across that bridge? The architecture tells us. It is I love and I feel. First of all, the first number is 1, I love. You must love yourself and trust yourself. Love yourself and protect yourself. Protect turns into trust. If you can't trust yourself, you need to protect yourself. You must love, protect, and trust yourself. You have a baseline of a step 10 architecture. Then we add on the step 2, I feel. Now, you cannot cross that bridge if you're coming to the table with emotional baggage. Luke Skywalker cannot cross the bridge if he's worried about Princess Leia. He's got to be able to pull it off, right? So you have to be emotionally grounded and have to be emotionally centered, or you're not going to even cross this bridge. Nothing's going to happen today. All right? That is the architecture of 12. And if you love yourself and stay in touch with your feelings, it will lead to a 3, 1 plus 2 is 3, a new belief about yourself. If you don't love yourself and you don't feel, it'll still add to a new belief, step 3, but this will be a self-limiting belief, as we've talked about, the belief to turn you back away from the bridge and not try to cross it. So many people can't cross that bridge. All right, so today let's talk about, so in other words, to architect it, you may be afraid, you may not know the outcome. It doesn't matter. If you love yourself and feel good, you can do it. If you love yourself and feel good, you can do it. Now that leads me to today's 5 o'clock question. What do you believe your role is to yourself in life? What do you believe your role is to yourself in life? What are you here to do for you? Second follow-up. What was your role when you were growing up to yourself? What was your role when you were growing up? Okay, so I'll answer these, of course, as I always take my own medicine that I prescribe. What do you believe your role is to yourself? Well, I'll say, first of all, the role to ourself I call our marriage. Our marriage, how we marry ourselves. You are married to yourself, to this body, to this life, till you die. That's the first person you're married to, is this incarnation. Then, like a polygamist in Utah, you're married to many others, okay? That's the truth. So, what do I believe my role is? Well, I believe my role is, in essence, my partner. I believe I'm a partner to myself. I kind of think of it as a Gemini kind of thing. But I have to say, when I was younger, well, that's skipping the question. Well, let's just go to the question. When I was younger, if I were to examine that role to myself, it was that I was a slave driver to myself. I was always talking down to myself. I was always yelling at myself. I was always making myself do things to get myself to work harder. That was how I motivated myself. Very primitive, honestly. It did work, but I ended up, beating myself down too much and keeping myself from going across the bridge. So it didn't really serve very well in the end, okay? So what I upgraded it to, and I always talk to my clients about this too in personal readings, is to upgrade it to something kind of imaginative and fun, first of all. I think if you don't have an imaginative kind of fun experience with yourself, like a child does alone in the garden, or a child does alone in a toy room, then it's not going to be fun. So, what part of the art to serious joy is you have to make every moment of your life fun. Therefore, I think you have to have sort of a fun thing for yourself. So I always say, many of my clients have Cinderella stories. I always say you become the fairy godmother to yourself. Live under those rules, all right? So live under the rules that serve you. So let me give you just one more question here, what I'm going to call a thought quest. Let me give you a thought quest, something to think about through the weekend. That's what this thought quest is, and I won't do thought quests except when we have like weekends to think about them. But here's your thought quest. Pull up into your mind your personal dream. It could be something you had even growing up, okay? So it doesn't have to be your personal dream now. Pull up, in fact, the one that maybe seems sort of impossible. Think of a personal dream and thought quest to yourself, what would be the perfect marriage? Who would you marry yourself to for that to happen? All right, so I'll play this out really quickly here before we go to our overhead projector. First of all, personal dreams, let's just say, okay, so I definitely want to continue with making television and morning television. So I want to go to a full talk show. That's one of my personal dreams, with a studio audience that I can run out in the audience and talk to. So I want my thought quest. That's what I want, my personal dreams. Now, who do I have to be to myself to make that happen? Well, I am pretending right now in my marriage that I am my agent. And so when I wake up in the morning, I think about my agent. What does this kid need? Obviously, he needs to hit the gym. He needs some sleep. He needs this. He needs that. And I think of myself in those terms now as my own personal agent. I challenge you, my friends, to thought quest for the weekend of, first, what are your personal dreams? We're not talking about whether or not you can achieve them. We are thought questing here. And second, okay, who do you have to be to yourself for that to happen? What character do you have to play? And if you want to go off the ledge, start playing the character. Okay? So without further ado, let's talk to my guides and see what they say about you. And let's also turn on our overhead projector. And actually in this little moment here, I actually want to take just this moment to open up a channel of protection for all my viewers and to bless all my viewers watching and let my love be available to my viewers when they need it and to protect us as a family from the harms that are in our way. Okay, so going here. They point me to the north node. That's very interesting. So the north node is at 28 degrees. That's interesting. So the north node is at 28 degrees Virgo. All right, this is the Virgo consciousness. And first of all, the north node is kind of like, in essence, when it's basically Creator saying, okay, this is where you focus on, this is where you aim for today. So for the weekend, my guide is saying you want to take this aim. This aim is step 28. That's I feel is the 2, and the 8 is I decide. Okay, so that makes 10, which is I manifest. All right, so basically focusing on us manifesting the new reality. That's what Virgo is. The Virgo is the new reality. What we're going to do to create our new reality, our new world. So how you feel about the new reality, what you've decided about your new reality, that's what you actually focus on as you are working through the weekend. Now, what are we working on? Well, we're working on this. We're working on step 12 of the sun. And through the weekend, it will go to step 13, and it will go to step 14. So this is of our belief structure, which is Sagittarius. And so we're going to break through what we believe. Now, look at where Mercury is today. Mercury is at step 21, where it starts to get fun. So do you think it's a cosmic accident of Creator that we have the multiples of 3 both active? This is our heart at 12 and our mind at 21, where it starts to get fun. Do you see how the universe is hitting what I call kind of a spiritual chord here, hitting a spiritual chord with these 3s? This adds to a 3. This adds to a 3. Okay? This is the magic of numbers I saw as I was doing horoscopes for so many years. So what this means is your mind, your smart ass is way up ahead, thinking way ahead of what this will add up to, while your life is actually sitting at the bridge wondering if you should cross the bridge. What's the bridge? Well, the degrees from the sun in 12 to actually the next bridge. By the way, this bridge is a real turning point too, 21. That's a whole nother turning point. This next bridge is what basically next week will be. We will, for those who decide they have the bravery to cross the bridge of the unknown, and that's what it is, a bridge of unknown, well then we will reach in about a week. We'll hit 19 degrees a week from now, and then whatnot. But we will hit 21. And that point our life will be turning that corner. Meanwhile, our mind will then go on to think for this next corner. So you can see this is a double whammy of a corner turn. Now, the next thing I want to point out is Saturn. Saturn is, of course, I'm looking here for the. Saturn is in the beginning of Sagittarius, and it's at step 8. I decide. Okay? Now, it was at step 7 pretty much all week long, which means we were intuiting what we think, but now we have decided, okay? And to me, that's the ledge. So it's like, okay, I've decided this is it. I'm going to cross this bridge or I'm not, or I've decided I'm too afraid to cross this bridge. Don't forget, where my guides are saying to focus on is what we feel and what we've decided. So I think the decide of this 8 is this Saturn's decide. By the way, Saturn is step 8, I decide. So Saturn is at its purebred, I decide, at the same time that the sun is at its purebred 12 with Sag and Mercury, etc. So there's a purebred moment here, and purebred moments mean things change. So if you want to be a predictor of changes in astrology, look for these purebred moments of the degrees. When they harmonize under purebred moments, life changes. The last thing I just want to point out is the emotional weekend here, because we're getting already up on 14 minutes. And the emotional weekend is the moon is crossing, as you can see, exactly the north node at the moment that I printed this chart. So how amazing is that, that they cross at this moment. But so, at 11:33 a.m. Pacific, we will be literally feeling this moment of manifestation, and what you feel is what will come. I'll put out a serious alert for those who are followed on my text service, and also for those who follow me on Twitter. But through the weekend, we move into the moon in Libra. So we feel through our mirage through this weekend. We feel through what we are to ourselves. This is why I put you through the questions of your role modelship to yourself and what role you play to yourself, because I think it's extremely important to know the role you play to yourself this weekend. Here's why. You're going to feel the whole role, including you'll have to feel past Black Lilith. Where's Black Lilith? She's hanging out at step 11. Oh my, what's our fear? Step 12. So we're all afraid of, at step 11, are we in integrity? That's the question. Am I in integrity? That might be one of the key questions as to whether or not I can cross the bridge. And then emotionally, the moon hits Mars. Now, I'll be putting out serious alerts for that, because anger will go every which way. Mars today is at step 13. Where does that 3 come from in the 13? Oh, it comes from whatever these guys program. So whatever you decide will become what you act on. Whatever you decide becomes what you focus on. You see how it all architects up? But through this weekend, you have to decide what you believe, because you won't be able to act Mars unless you do. And of course, you got to get past your fears of whether or not your integrity. So no matter what's going on through the weekend, I think that this weekend is really about what I just showed you. That you have to get the strength up for your own feelings. That you have to be able to believe in yourself and what you're doing. You have to decide to cross the bridge, and then you have to, go forward based on that dedication to that belief, what you've decided, and move forward. And really what you're doing here is you're emotionally feeling through your mirage, your relationship to yourself. Now, don't be conned and think this is about your lover or your spouse or someone you're romantically involved with, because they are a reflection of your mirage. And if you don't got your mirage down, you're no place to be in a marriage. All right? You're just architected on false foundation, right? You can swap out the basement and replace it, put the condo back down, don't worry. So I will leave you folks with that. I think that's a good wrap up. Oh, no, one more thing my guys want to show me, actually. They're like, hey. Venus. Venus is at step 29. Step 29 is the final step. It adds to an 11, integrity. So if we live in integrity past our fears at 11 down here, then if we can pass our fears of being in integrity here, then we can live in the Grand Master of 11 up here. This is our ability to receive at the highest level. So 1 month, we are programming our ability to receive at the highest level, not after we cross the bridge, but at the point of deciding to cross it. That's what you need to know. If you don't decide to cross the bridge, you will not program yourself to receive from the highest level. All right. I think that's a perfect wrap up. I am so grateful to be of soul service, my friends, and I'd like to invite you down to my mothership of light at soulgarden.tv. Be a registered member. And hey, my personal Sensei service is coming out next week. It is so amazing. You can sign up to be on my email list if you'd like. At the mothership at soulgarden.tv. You'll see a little ad there. Have you found serious joy? And I will seriously be here for you on Monday. I love you. I thank you all for the comments. Oh, I will end with one little note for Australia. Australia's been asking what video they should watch. The truth is, Australia, first of all, if you my service will be available via email for Australians when it comes out. And the service is aligned with what you're supposed to watch. But the truth is that we live in one synchronicity of time. So when it's Wednesday in Australia, you should be watching Tuesday's show. When it's Thursdays in Australia, you should be watching Wednesday's show. Because we are one, and I'm reporting on what it is here. So whatever is going on here at the exact same space-time as you are is what's going on. Hope that helps with everyone. But again, the service will send you the right link if you sign up for it at that time. And if you're on my email list, you'll know when the service comes out. I love you, my friends. I'm so grateful to be of soul service. Have a great weekend. Live in your hearts and cross that bridge. Don't be afraid. I'll meet you on the other side. Until then, live, love, be. So